and all. It is Tuesday, January 31st, which, if you're paying attention, playing along at home, is the last day of my January challenge. So that's exciting. 3 activities I will be able to resume, which is being lazy and not doing anything, eating vegan meats, and drinking alcohol. But I didn't actually do the alcohol one, so that's no change. And I'm not going to be lazy. I'm actually more inspired than ever to keep going, maybe even extend this thing. I'm going to add Doug in here. We'll see what his thoughts are. I believe he's got a little fitness update for us, which has been a long time coming, and I'm very excited to hear what it is. So let's see how that is. He will not be dancing today, I don't think, but let's see. There he is.
There's no welcome, dance. Matt. Welcome, nice. Welcome.
What he welcoming me to?
I don't know. I guess. Hello.
There we go. Good.
Yeah, my favorite day of the year. I've just decided that.
Oh, great. Okay. I'm eager to hear why that is. I'm having some garbly audio issues from you, which is a strange thing. Wow, we have a ton of people here right now. I don't know why. For the start of the show, so I'm hesitant to have you leave. Can you say something else, Doug?
Yeah. Hey, you're kind of gargly for me too. So why don't I head out and then jump back in?
Okay.
And maybe more people will join back in. So sorry for the delay, everybody.
That's okay. A lot of tech issues these days we're dealing with, but we're doing our best. This Instagram platform, I think, is probably to blame because the other things don't seem to have any problems at all. The restream. Reminder, you can always go watch the show on YouTube, No Meat Athlete channel on YouTube. We have been broadcasting to other channels as well, but that one and Twitch are actually the most reliable. All right, Mr. Jeffrey said Doug was fine, so that's, who knows about that. Could be on my end. All right, Doug is back again.
I'm back. Any better?
More or less the same.
Okay.
But I don't know. How do I sound to you?
You sound a bit gargly to me as well.
Okay. That is too bad. All right. Mr. Jeffrey says, my collar is rubbing the mic. Sorry about that. These are so frustrating to me, these issues. Steven says we are both scrambled for him. So
great.
There we go.
Excellent. Even better.
Yeah. So then it appears to be a platform issue. All I can really say is go over to YouTube. No Meat Athlete on YouTube. Any other suggestions, Doug?
No, why don't you get onto your Wi-Fi, see if that helps at all.
Okay. I will do that. Switching over to Wi-Fi. Sorry everyone for this. I hate that this happens. I hear like all this static and stuff. It's very weird. All right, Steven says sound is
raining. It is raining, and I do have a tin roof, so that's...
maybe that's what I hear. But that's not the actual problem. Okay, I guess we just need to proceed, and we will at least have a podcast.
Yes.
Good? Okay.
Sounds great.
So try to avoid this mic rubbing. All right. So, all right, Doug, you told me that this is the favorite day of your new favorite day of the year, and I'm puzzled as to why that could be. I was thinking, is it a New Year's resolution, end of people's resolutions day, or what?
Okay, so kind of. I mean, I'm just now coming up with this idea in the moment. So punch some holes in there. I'm sure you're going to have plenty. But I heard you talking as I was waiting to get let into the room. I heard you talking about January 31st being the end of your goals, and kind of you have more excitement than ever to keep going with your movement goal. And, that's when it hit me. It was like, this is really the time when you've kind of settled into stuff or ditched it and decided not to go forward with it. It is your opportunity to really kind of make the year your own instead of and set yourself free from whatever kind of restrictions you put at New Year's, because those probably aren't going to work. So now you're going to really make it your own and figure out how you're going to take your fitness or health or whatever it is you're working on and make it something that lasts all year long. So that's why I'm excited about today. I don't really know how that applies to me, but just listening to you made me excited. So I'm feeling good about it.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I like that idea. That seems smart to me. We're finally on this day or so, maybe officially, because it's the new month, we're kind of free of all these other people's expectations or this artificial thing. We've known what works for us. We have a glimpse into our true nature, and we now know what we need to do going forward for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about challenges, right? And how it's so exciting when challenges are over, because then you can kind of fall into this, your kind of middle ground, whatever feels comfortable. If you went vegan for the month, if you did veganuary, or if you did dry January or whatever, chances are you're probably not going to continue being 100% vegan if you weren't before, or you're not going to continue to be 100% dry if you weren't before, but maybe there's that like middle ground. And that's, to me, that's more exciting than doing the actual challenge, because you get to come out of it and you get to set these lifelong or long-term goals in place or whatever. I don't know. I'm talking on the fly. I'm talking on the fly here, but
okay.
But I think I'm onto something.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that you are. I don't know. I like the idea of it. So let's give it some more time to marinate, and then we'll revisit maybe.
Okay. All right.
All right. So Anne-Marie says, this is the last time I'm going to talk about tech issues. Anne-Marie says she went over to YouTube and it's way better over there. So we've been trying to tell you that. I'm going to type the URL into the Instagram chat. It's youtube.com/no-meat-athlete. You're going to need to retype it anyway, or maybe copy paste. No Meat Athlete, all one word. So anyway, go over there. Yes, you can leave comments over there. Someone asked about, but they will show up into like a master feed for us, where we get all the comments from the other places. So we will see it. So anyway, I highly recommend you try it. Just expand your horizons a little bit. It's January 31st. This is the time to break out of old ways and patterns. That's right. Self-actualization. You just do it. So, all right, good. All right. Speaking of this, Doug, of progress and actualization, maybe the opposite though, because I do wonder if you're kind of still slave to old goals here that you don't really want anymore. But what news do you have for us on the fitness New Year's front?
Man, I have such good news on the fitness front.
Okay.
The best news I've had in 2 years on my fitness front.
Wow, great!
Because I've set this goal to be able to do 5 pull-ups a couple years ago now, and just I'd give it a C at best, a C minus probably effort into into achieving that goal, of basically just relying on monkey bars at playgrounds and running by the outdoor pull-up bar in our town to do anything, and you gave me a hard time for it, and I'm glad you did, because it did pressure me a little bit to be serious about this if it's really something I want, and it is. And so the other day, after you were giving me a particularly hard time, my sister called me up and she was like, "So why is it that you really haven't purchased pull-up bars?" And I kind of gave it the same excuses around like not really knowing where to put them, not wanting to drill them into my office wall and all this stuff. And so then I started talking to her husband, who's big into gymnastic rings.
Okay.
And he uses them for pull-ups with a what do you call it? A rod, a wooden dowel that he puts between them, but then also uses them for a bunch of other exercises. And and that got me excited about it because it was more than just a pull-up bar. And they sent me some for my birthday. I have installed them in the ceiling of my office, and I'm on day 3 now of adding pull-up workouts, and I'm already feeling sore this morning and a little bit stronger. Wow. And it's good, man. I'm stoked. I'm ready to go.
All right, great. So just to be clear, I was a little distracted. I was reading YouTube comments because people are flocking to YouTube right now. Our numbers over there are as high as they've been, and the numbers on Instagram are as low as they've been. But a lot of the regulars, Jody Shuck has made it over. Anne-Marie I already mentioned, and Dale Stevens. They're saying, "Wow, you're right. This is great." People saying, "I'm watching all the time over here. It's much better." So, not trying to uproot the Instagram presence, but it's better over there. So you should do that if you don't like this quality ever. Anyway, Doug. So the part I missed was you got pull-up rings or instead of a pull-up bar. Is that right, or you got some sort of multi-function thing that does both?
Well, I got gymnastic rings, which did hang from the ceiling. Or what's cool about them, they're on straps. So this summer I can take them out and have a perfect branch right outside my office. I can move this outdoors if I want to. You can
take them to a playground if you want it.
I can take them to a playground. I can take them to your house. We can do them together.
Right.
Yeah. So gymnastic rings, and then I'm gonna buy a dowel, which is what he uses to be able to have a bar. But right now I've just been using the rings to do the pull-up exercises, and it's great. It's awesome.
And what are the rings?
Perfect solution for me.
What do the rings hang from?
They hang from. I drilled holes in the ceiling into the roof rafters.
Okay. Nice. So if you were to bring them to my house, we'd be bringing your drill and drilling holes in my roof rack.
No, we'd be bringing the straps, bring them to your house and put them on a branch or pull them on your pull-up bar.
Okay,
I think you
good.
have a pull-up bar, right?
Perfect. Yes. All right, good. This is awesome. I like this, Doug. I have. Do you recall me talking about gymnastic rings ever? Saying that it might be a fun thing to get in my new house.
Yeah, I feel like I remember that vaguely.
Yeah, I've glanced at it and I haven't. But when I installed the heavy bag the other day, which I mentioned a while ago, which is more for my son than for me, I installed like a hook thing, and it said you can use this for pull-up rings or gymnastic rings, and I thought that would be really cool to actually do that and get going with that. So I hope that sticks for you, Doug. That's very exciting, and yeah, I'm eager to hear what you start doing on those besides just pull-ups, because that would be very interesting to me.
All right. Well, I'll keep you posted. They are literally like 3 feet from my desk.
Okay.
So if I need just a little stretch break, I can hang from them and do a couple pull-ups or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. I'm riding high on my New Year's resolutions today on January 31st.
Good.
On my 2021 New Year's resolution here on January 21st of 2023.
So another way to frame it would be that the first month of the year is all about preparing to begin your actual resolution for people. Maybe a different New Year's strategy, or the first year and a month after setting a resolution is where you lay the groundwork, you prepare the ground for the growth that happens. So I'm excited about this. People are saying I've been smirking about this. I'm not smirking. I was probably laughing at. I'm satisfied and happy that this is happening. I really am. And I was also probably smiling at the YouTube people saying it was better over there. All right, Jeff Wilson says, how many pull-ups? I don't know if he means how many pull-ups are you currently doing or what the goal is, but you can clarify that, Doug, if you'd like.
Yeah, well, yeah. So the goal is not very ambitious for someone who does pull-ups, but someone who has never been able to do more than 2 pull-ups in my life. It's 5 pull-ups without a break.
Mm-hmm.
Right now I've been doing like 10, but I've been doing them kind of one or two at a time.
Yeah,
and so that's been the workout that I've been doing. But yeah, it's just 5. I'm trying to go for 5, but hopefully that'll just skyrocket to 25 by the end of the year. We'll see.
Yeah, I like it. I mentioned to you this guy Pavel who does the kettlebells and all that, who I like a lot.
Yep.
He has that grease the groove approach where he says as many times as you can throughout the day, and the way he kind of codified that was 3 to 5 times a day, you do 3 to 5 reps. So I'm thinking for you, if 1 to 2 is the comfort zone, I would do like 2 sets of 2, basically as many times as you can throughout the day.
Okay,
not
that's
great for my advice, but that's that's what I am. That's maybe the way I'd approach it. And then once you can get 3, then I would start doing some ladders of like 1, 2, 3, with tiny little breaks between each set, and then you're gonna be putting in a lot of reps in a day. You're gonna get 15, 20 reps a day, and it will be no time until you're doing 5 in a row.
All right.
I think that. Good. Okay. Well, good for you. My analog to that, corollary to that, is that I have built my half squat rack, which I'm not really. And I'm gonna do squats on it, but I'm not that interested in squats. It's not that I'm not interested. I just have never liked squats. I like deadlifts much better. I like bench press much better, and even shoulder press. So anyway, I can do all these things now with the help of the squat rack and squats as well. So I'm very excited about that. I have not yet figured out exactly what type of workout plan to do, but right now I'm just kind of doing the exercises, getting strong, amazing. I realized I did some bench press the other day, 2 days ago, and I thought about it, and I've done plenty of like kettlebell pressing and things where you've got to get it off the ground, but it's just a one-arm thing. It's not, and with that kind of thing, you can't load up the weight the way you would with a barbell. You just can't get that much strength because it's isolating much more. And I realized I don't think I've done a bench press since like way pre-COVID. I mean, it's been like 3.5 years since I've actually been under a bar and put up the weight. So it was an unfamiliar feeling, but I'm glad to be back at it and very excited. So I'll have some stuff to share soon enough, I think, hopefully.
Great.
Some gains to share, maybe.
Are you going to do some before and after photos in the front of the mirror?
I don't think so. I'm not really that interested in that. I did just the other day, though, when I thought about this movement challenge I've been doing. It's been so great and easy. And like on my worst days, I will go and do I don't know, 2 sets of heavy deadlifts, 2 sets of pull-ups, and some hanging leg raises. And it only takes 10 minutes. So it's nothing. But
Right.
it's still, it's, as we've talked about many times, it still kind of just gives you another day that you did your stuff. And I was just thinking, like, maybe I should extend that thing to be like the whole year long, because it just made me do things and it wasn't hard. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I'm not going to commit to just that, but I have no interest in stopping. And I was thinking it would be cool for my own personal use. I probably wouldn't post this, but it'd be cool just to like see what happens when you do some amount of lifting every day in a row and just actually see the visible progress.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I didn't take a picture at the start, so it's not going to be as dramatic. So I don't know. I just don't know if I'm into that, but it's tempting.
It's never too late. You should do it. Document it. I like it.
Okay, maybe I'll start a little Flex Friday like our friend Justin Dragon Carl.
There you go.
said today.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
feeling a little bad for Steven over here. He's commenting on Instagram, but he's kind of off on his own compared to all the other regulars who have moved over to YouTube.
I know, Steven, come on, man. I feel sad for you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Steven's just an Instagram guy. He doesn't like to jump ship. I'm actually surprised at how many people did jump ship. It's I thought it would be hard to get people over to a different platform, but there they are. It
must be very, very unwatchable right now on Instagram.
Right, maybe. Okay, I had a quick other comment, Doug. 3 people submitted comments yesterday about your dancing, which I thought was an unlikely number of comments to come in on a single day about dancing. And I think it was because you had said that you noticed that when Bianca was on, had kind of said it was a good thing that she wasn't dancing because I didn't like it or something. Anyway, so people were quick to come to your defense. And first of all, Bianca started it by saying, I'm a Doug dancing fan. Oh, no, sorry. Try DMC, who won one of the No Meat Athlete, the Plant-Based Athlete books, like this one I have here. He or she said, keep dancing, Doug. Don't let Matt stifle your flame. I thought that's interesting. I hope I'm not thought of as someone who stifles a flame, but I could see in this particular context maybe because I
just pouring water all over my dancing flame.
I am. I don't like it anymore. I did, and then I stopped. So then Bianca said that she often watches the intros just so she can see what the dance is, and then she moves on. I'm trying to find it. Dancing Doug fan here, she said. I come to check out the IG intros after listening to the podcast just so I can see Doug dance. Don't stop. And then this is my favorite one. Dale Stevens, loyal listener, says, I had to miss the episode today. I'm so glad that you post these here. Also, I love Doug's entrances. Maybe you could just do them periodically so we're in suspense and Matt could tolerate that. That'd be perfect. So whenever you have a good one, whenever you feel inspired to actually do something good, do it. Show it to us. And, we'll talk about it, all that. But when it's an everyday thing, it has to be every day. Then it turns into like the finger dances and all that stuff that you were doing and whatever else.
I shouldn't have done the finger dance. That seemed to like break the camel's back there.
I think it did. Yeah. So if you've got something worth doing, do it. That's, I think, a nice way to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I can't stop dancing. It would be a disservice to myself and my true self if I stop dancing entirely. So I'm glad that people want it. I think the dancing will come back in some form or another. The suspense is on. Katie says that her favorite part of the show is listening to you try to describe what it is I'm doing when I enter.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that's why I don't like it because I never have many words to say. Like, oh, he's doing that general body motion. Steven says, I just need to stop commenting on how he enters the chat. That would also be fine. If you just want to do it and I'll just pretend it's not happening, that'd be fine too. Steven over there by his lonesome says that. And he's also looking for doesn't have the desire for strength training that I do. But I certainly go in and out of it. I like everything. I go hard into something and then I get all the way out of it. So don't feel bad there, Steven.
No.
Okay. And then one more thing and then we'll move on. Just trying to play to the crowd here. Neil L says, do you have to warm up to do pull-ups or just do it as you walk by the bar /rings? And as far as I know, with the thing I was describing, where you're doing 3 to 5 a day, 3 to 5 sets of 3 to 5 per day, greasing the groove, just getting as many reps as you can. you just go up there and do it. No reason to warm up for a small set like that, because it shouldn't be a taxing workout. That's the whole point. It's just you do something you can do every time you walk by. But what about you, Doug? When you do this, you do warm ups?
No. I mean, I think if I was doing like a big workout, then I would, but but no. I'm literally just hopping on there, doing a little bit, moving on with my day.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Moving on. I have a little random factoid that I learned yesterday, thanks to some kid in my daughter's school who was making fun of her, telling her she was not vegan and everything she'd ever known was a lie.
Whoa!
Because he's a vegetarian, and apparently this upset her. Not really upset her, but enough that she was telling about it. He saw her using Crayola crayons, and he said those are not vegan, by the way. And then, sure enough, we went home, asked Alexa about it, and she said that they are made with tallow, which is from when you render beef fat, I think is what it's called, tallow. I think I've seen like French fries that have tallow as their frying oil. And then I guess the markers also aren't, because they have some other thing. So Crayola in general, not a vegan brand. And I don't know, I feel like I know a lot of, just having been vegan now for I guess I've been vegan for 12 years now. I've come across a lot of things where you're like, wow, I didn't know that was vegan, and then you eventually stop using it. But Crayola, all these years, I've managed to avoid hearing that one. So we're not going to throw out our Crayola products, but once they're expired, we'll probably choose a different brand.
Do other brands, are they better or all Crayola?
That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, that's a very good question. I just sort of assumed they would be, but who knows?
Man, that's I'm sorry to hear that to your daughter. I'm sorry your daughter had to go through that.
Well, she's okay. And I told her, I said, like, we all the time encounter articles and just troll commenters saying that you can't be, well, if you drive a car, you're not vegan, or if you walk on the grass, you're not vegan, because that stuff, harms animals indirectly or directly. And so I told her it's about doing the best you can. Gave her the official definition of veganism. Yep. And now she's armed with some responses for that little punk.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. And someone wants to know how old this kid was. I don't actually know how old he was. I think he's a similar age as my daughter. So anyway, that's that. Okay. So moving on, Doug, into the weather report. Anything else you got before we jump into that?
No, let's do it. Let's get snowy.
Let's get snowy. The real weather report here is very just very gray, not very exciting, but I think it's also not very cold, so I'm happy with that. All right. Fast casual burger chain Smashburger announced that it is partnering with jackfruit meat producer Jack and Annie's, who we've tried and didn't love their stuff, to trial a new menu item called the plant-based classic Smashburger. That's kind of exciting. Be available for a limited time in Colorado, New York, and New Jersey Smashburger locations. Maybe not all of them, but it'll be there. So that's kind of cool. There's been a story I've been just totally ignoring for the past month, and that is because I did not know who Rishi Sunak was, as I kept seeing his name come up in headlines, because politics, world politics especially, complete blind spot for me. I often forget that it exists and that there is a whole other world over there where they're doing things just like we do here. There's been this company called Generation Vegan. Gen V has been petitioning him to go vegan for a month, offering 1 million pounds to the charity of his choosing. I don't know how many dollars that is, but it's significant, I'm sure. I never got why it was a story, because they also were offering the same to Donald Trump and Pope. Who's the Pope? I don't know that either. Another major blind spot of mine. But the Pope was also offered this stuff, this money, and none of them were interested. Finally, they got a response from this guy saying he would not accept the challenge. That's the UK Prime Minister, by the way, if I didn't already say that. He would not accept. They're already working to ensure greater environmental sustainability and towards achieving our 25-year environmental plan ambitions and our carbon net zero goals. But those goals do not include him going vegan for a month. So they're making a final plea with the help of Dr. Gemma Newman, who is someone I have interviewed, or I went on her Instagram Live for the Plant-Based Athlete Tour, so that was kind of cool. And anyway, they're trying one more time, but I don't know. I'm not going to say it's silly because I don't know that much about it, but I just don't get what's so newsworthy about that. Almost finally, a report by the USDA found that over half of Germans now consider themselves flexitarian. That's 55% after reducing meat consumption. That's kind of a lot of people, and I'm still way on board with this flexitarian diet. Cow's milk consumption per capita fell 5% in the single year between 2020 and 2021. And finally, in 2018, Matt Pritchard, this is in the UK, another more UK goings on. He hosted the first ever vegan cookery show, Dirty Vegan, in the UK. And now that brand, which sounds a lot like Dirty V, which is where I ate dinner in Raleigh the other day at a little slutty vegan kind of place. They're now making meat alternatives that are made with fermented vegetables designed to promote gut health. So I don't know. I've never heard of that, but I figured if anyone watches TV in the UK, they may know about Matt Pritchard, and we'll be excited to hear about Dirty Vegan. By the way, these are all from Vegconomist. Vegconomist is kind of the best source of Morning Report headlines. So if you're ever interested in where these are coming from, go over there and read the full stories. They make it a little hard. You got to subscribe and you got to pay and all this stuff to always get full access or do all the workarounds that I do. But anyway, figured I'd shout them out since I always use their headlines.
All right, great.
All right, Doug,
I've got a little weather report item,
okay,
kind of,
good.
maybe.
Please give it.
I would encourage everyone to go over to Plant Based News' Instagram feed. Try to find a reel from a couple days ago. Maybe we can post it somewhere. Of it like showed them making the cultivated meat, kind of printing it. And
saw this.
Yeah, it was really interesting. I don't know. I just kind of thought it was like it was really cool to see the machine actually do it and make it. And it looked really gross when they were making it, but then when they cooked it, it did in fact look quite a bit like real meat. So.
Yeah, I had mixed feelings watching that. Like you, I thought this is weird. Like it looks like Play-Doh food being made, and it was like, what am I doing, obsessing over this stuff or thinking this is good? And then you see it in cooked form, and it's like, wow, this actually does look good. And then I noticed that Robbie of Plant Based News had a comment below there saying something like, the people who are saying, I would never eat meat from a machine or even from plants, and yet they're eating meat from these animals who are basically tortured their whole life and just totally mistreated, that they would do that. And he says they need to wake up, or they need to, I forget what the exact phrase was, but I thought it was very good, because the other stuff I've seen recently was like, I don't know, a bunch of little piglets lined up and being force fed something. And it was it makes me very sad. There's all this trend in the media to bash the plant-based meats and gloat about how the industry is collapsing, which is really not. We've likened it to, I hope, and I mean, it certainly looks like it. Doesn't mean it's going to bounce back the way like the .com industry did. But this happens when industries are new and there's big hype around them. There then becomes too much hype around them, and they don't meet expectations, and then they fall back for a little while, and everyone piles on them, and then 20 years later you realize they've replaced everything else around you, and they've more slowly, more gradually taken over. I don't know if that's going to happen with the vegan meats, but the point is, people just love to gloat about it failing, and for me, it's like, I mean, no one is. Maybe some people are. I'm not trying to make people eat that and say like this is your only choice. Sure. It's like I don't get how people are happy that is going, or that is struggling, when it's like linked to just people who really like animals. Like, how can you? I just don't get that. It does not make sense to me that is such a thing to celebrate. That now we have to have more animal suffering again.
Yep, I'm totally with you. But yeah, it was an interesting little video to see how the sausage is made. Literally,
the sausage is made. Very nice. Yep, I like it. It was cool. I mean, they had like a touchscreen thing, kind of like my the 7-Eleven Sounds Great sound machine that I use, which is not touchscreen, but if it had a good one, it would be. And they picked like the type of cut they wanted it to print. And then they had little sliders that would say how much marbling they wanted, what percentage of fat to show up in it. I mean, it's incredible that you could do that with food. It is very interesting. Again,
what if you could sit down at 7-Eleven, because they have a lot of offerings now, and or at a restaurant and like design your own burger exactly the way you like it, It'd be great. And based on that video, there's nothing that would prevent that from happening. It's I'm sure infinitely customizable, and I can't imagine it be all that expensive to do it in that manner. But what do I know?
All right, on to our articles today. Not too much. Trying to keep it light with the amount of content we cover in a given day. This one my mom sent me, and I thought it was kind of worth mention here. It's from BusinessInsider.com, and the headline is one of the biggest problems for plant-based products. People don't know where to find them at the grocery store, and couldn't resist the first line they wrote in the article. They couldn't resist. Impossible Foods has a problem. Its products, like plant-based burgers and meatballs, are almost impossible to find at some grocery stores.
Wow. So good.
Yeah, and it made me wonder, like, is it okay in journalism just to like make a joke like that when it's actually not true? I don't really know. And this isn't piling on me. I think they're actually trying to sort of take the side, or at least they're being neutral. So it's not piling on. It's just
impossible foods, more like impossible to find foods.
I'm a big Parks and Rec fan, Parks and Recreation, and I always like Leslie Knope just because I like headlines. I like when Leslie Knope dreams up the headlines for the reporters. They're always just such good ones. Anyway, so this is from Impossible CEO Peter McGinnis. He told Time Magazine in an interview published on Sunday that sometimes the grocery stores put them next to the butcher's counter, and they prefer that, but it's not consistent, and you can't count on that happening. So sometimes they're in the meat case like that. Sometimes they're in their own area with the vegan food, sometimes they're with the other vegan foods. Sometimes they're in their own place that is like the plant-like beef area, the meat-like beef area that's different from like the tofu products and all that. So it's kind of just all over the place, and you don't know where it is. And then whoever wrote the article in preparation for this interview, this is from the Time Magazine guy. My wife and I went to our local supermarket, but had a hard time finding the product. So, I mean, do we need this story? I don't really know. It seems kind of silly. I don't think this is the source of the vegan meat industry's problems, that people can't find the stuff, because I don't know, like if I can't find something, I just will look a little harder for it, and then I'll find it. And I think that's probably what happens when you do this, because there's not that many possible places it'll be. But I do understand if they're trying to make this like, I don't know, like not for vegans, but like for someone who's ready to buy the other meat and they just see this and they're like, oh, give that a try. It's going to make it a little bit harder to do that for sure. But
yeah, so I mean, I guess it kind of goes back to, I believe this really is a problem. Because I have trouble finding it sometimes, but like you said, I just then look around, I know it'll be in one of a few places. So I'll just poke around, try to find it. But, for example, when I did my big Walmart trip that we talked about yesterday, to get all of the vegan meat options that Walmart has, that Ingles does not have. And I was trying to find, I believe it was Mr. Jeffrey was encouraging me to try the not burgers. And I couldn't find them anywhere. And it turns out they're in a totally different section from everything else. And I just missed that. But so I do believe this is an actual problem, but it kind of gets to the root of the issue or question is where do they belong? Do they belong in the meat department? Do they belong in that vegan section where that's where other vegan products are going to be, like frozen chicken wings and things like that? Or should everything just be like dispersed evenly within the grocery store? I don't know. And I don't know the answer to that. I think that probably most grocery stores don't know the answer either, because it is really nice to just be able to go to one section and not have to scour all of the burgers, but just know exactly, where the vegan burgers are.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we talked about the Walmart placements yesterday, and there were a bunch of things that you and I had not seen in our two separate trips to Walmart, like the Hellman's mayo, because it wasn't in the section with the vegan stuff where we were looking.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's like, I guess are you placing this stuff so that vegans find it, in which case you put it all in one place, or is it for just the everyday shopper to see it and think they're going to pick the vegan version? Maybe one day there will be a world where we just sort of all shop normally the same way, and in every section there's the vegan stuff and the other stuff. But then I guess we can get the other side of that. We can go along the same line. Maybe there's a world where every store is split into two sections, and there's the vegan section and the other section. Yeah. And they're just, copies of each other. It's just one is all the vegan versions. I don't know.
But it like right now it is hard, because who was the company that would only put their deli slices, their vegan deli slices, in the deli section? And that's a section I never ever even think to look at. I just walk right past it. Right. So that could be there in my grocery store, and I never would have even known that it was an option.
Yep.
Because I never think to go there.
Right. You're right. There's no great solution there. I don't think. Yeah. I'll tell you what we need. We need stores that are for vegans and they're only for vegans. And then we need also the vegan products in the regular stores next to all those products. Just
Sure.
full infiltration. It's all about us. It's all about our cause. And that's how it should be.
No,
All
what
right,
you need is to put on VR glasses and walk into a grocery store that just has the stuff that you want.
Yeah. Or go on Amazon and then it'll know what you typically buy and then send it to you.
There you go.
Okay, everyone is making it over to YouTube. Even Steven has made his way over. Steven has made his way over to YouTube as well. He said probably best just to say current UK Prime Minister about that one guy who I mentioned. I don't know what Steven is implying with that one.
That's when you were trying to. One of the weather report articles you were.
Yeah, right. I just don't know. I'm not sure. I think I just said he was UK Prime Minister. Okay. I'm not sure what. I think Steve might be making some kind of political joke that's going over my head there by saying current UK Prime Minister. I don't really know. Maybe not. All right, a few more things I just want to read. Matt Pritchard, like the British Steve-O from Jackass. That's interesting. I did not know that. That's the guy who's making the dirty vegan line of fermented foods. Okay, and lots more comments over there. So like now, Doug, we need to look at YouTube when we want to have the conversation and see what people are saying, which is easy to forget to do because I'm so used to staring at Instagram. And there's only 2 people in Instagram, so it makes us look like like the show is no good and no one cares about it. If you find it on Instagram.
Today is the day of the big migration over to Instagram or to YouTube.
It's possible, and maybe the YouTube algorithm sees this and starts, because that's the idea with Instagram is that it would show it to people who we follow. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work, because we're not very active on YouTube, either of us, Doug.
No.
Anyway, next article and our final article for the day, I believe. This one, Doug, I don't know if you're going to like this. Although now that you're a gymnast, maybe you're actually going to take the opportunity to bash running a little bit. This is from Yahoo Finance via Fortune, via Washington Post, right? No, not via, this is also from my mom. Sorry, not up there. Via my mom. Your Washington Post article, Doug, we will get to probably tomorrow. Okay, headline is running to escape negative emotions can worsen your sense of well-being. Here's how to reshape your relationship to exercise. So it gets into complicated. It's from a study published in Wednesday in Frontiers in Psychology. And the idea it explores how running to get, quote, lost and suppress negative emotions can lead to exercise dependence and a diminished sense of overall well-being. So it goes on. A lot of, I don't know if psychobabble is the correct phrase here. I actually kind of like psychology. I think it's an interesting topic, but I do think sometimes things are maybe overanalyzed, which I don't think is a very uncommon sentiment. But anyway, they said it's not that running. I mean, running they're saying is escapism. The idea of going off for a run, you are participating in escapism the same way you are if you are streaming a show, playing a game, listening to a song, or other forms of exercise. Not that all running is escapism, but they're saying when you a habitual diversion of the mind, an escape of reality or routine. That's their definition of escapism. And they go on to say that it's not that escapism by itself is bad. It depends on basically how you are doing your form of escapism. If you do it in a self-expansive way, where you're paying attention to your emotions, you're feeling how you're going to feel, and you sort of let yourself kind of express these emotions, get them out through the running, then it can be quite a good thing. But if you're going there and you're kind of actively trying, you want to run not because you want to like let yourself feel this and just get it out, but rather you're going for a run so that you stop feeling this way and forget this feeling, then that's a sign of self-suppression, and that is associated with the big problem here, the worsening state of the worsening well-being. So, Doug, you're a big runner. I don't know how much you use escapism when you run, but I'm just curious what you have to say about this.
So, I quite like this article.
Okay,
I was quite happy to see it because I have always hated, and I know this is going to rub some people the wrong way, but I've always hated those shirts or slogans. I think you might even have a blog post about it, about
I know
running is cheaper than therapy.
Yep.
That I always thought that was a terrible mantra and a terrible thing to portray runners as like this is their way to deal with their with big issues that would otherwise require therapy. because I don't think it is a good way. I mean, it is, if it is a way for you to escape from something, then those problems are going to continue to exist, and you're never going to be able to run away from them entirely, or run them out of your life entirely. That said, there is something very real about going for a run and sort of coming back feeling a lot better. And I mean, last night is a perfect example. I had a stressful day. I was ending my day, full of emotions and stressed out. Went for a 6-mile run, came home, felt so good afterwards. And it completely reset the way I did, way I was feeling. And that kind of stuff is important. And that kind of stuff is very valuable. And exercise is so good at providing that. And running can definitely do that. But, I mean, I do not think that running should be this or exercise of any sort, a way to try to prevent you feeling a certain emotion or dealing with a certain issue. I think that escapism is negative, no matter how you're doing it, whether it's through alcohol or exercise.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I think I have similar thoughts. I think it's probably pretty easy to react that way, and that's probably the right reaction to this. I don't think I've ever, I definitely recognize that feeling of you come back from a run. Often for me, it's a surprise when I do not want to run and I go for that run, and then I come back and I actually am now in a much better mood and feel like I'm glad I went for that run because it made me feel better. But I don't think I ever, when I'm in a bad mood, I don't ever want to go for the run because I'm in the bad mood. I go for the run because I'm planning to anyway, and I have to do it today. So now I go and do it. And coincidentally, I was in a bad mood before that, and it makes me not. So I guess for me that it's not escapism, either the good or the bad kind, but I definitely can recognize that positive side of it. So I do believe what you're saying, that it definitely can be a way to get yourself out of a mood. It seems like such a, I guess, fine line, or maybe not a fine line, but not very easy to tell which one of these, why you're feeling better after you run. Is it because you suppressed the emotion with that run, or is it because you self-expanded during that run? And I don't know how you say it.
Yeah,
I think you're right about the cheaper than therapy thing. I've never disliked that shirt or thought of it that way, but I do think it's a good point. I guess maybe what I have observed is exactly what the article's saying. I can certainly imagine some people who kind of get their life in order because they have some habit they put in place, and it sort of becomes their way to sort through things, and they think about stuff, or they feel the feelings. And you can also imagine there's a lot of situations, like you said, where it doesn't fix anything. It just, gets you in better shape to deal with your problems. You're just now in better physical shape.
I mean, I think you're right about there being a fine line, because I mean, I know that I'm a better person when I am active, when I'm consistently running or exercising and eating healthy and just feeling better and feeling more healthy. I think I'm a better person. I'm more happy. I'm more open to suggestion. I'm more patient with my kids. That I don't think is from me escaping anything. I think it's just me taking care of myself, so that then I can prepare and be ready for whatever life throws at you.
Right.
And so that, I mean, so using running as a way to be a better version of yourself is, in my opinion, not a problem. I think that any sort of exercise is important to that, moving your body and kind of taking care of yourself. As I'm sitting here throwing down cough drops because I'm sick. But I think that if you can take it too far, just in the same way that you can take anything else. You can use it as a way to run from problems, for a temporary fix or a temporary boost of endorphins. And that, that's probably not a very healthy thing.
Right. No, I would say probably not. All right, good. Well, I honestly thought you were going to try to defend a little bit more. I thought you were going to say why this article was wrong, and that there was nothing that could go wrong with adding running to a routine when you're not feeling well.
Mr. Jeffrey says that you should start running to escape my dancing, which which I think you typically do. You just you can't physically run from the camera, but you're running emotionally and mentally from me every time I show up dancing.
Yep, I am. Definitely am at least cringing inside, if not. Okay, good. Well, that then will do it. Anything else, Doug? I mean, this was a 45-minute show, right around where we try to be. Very weird having everyone be over on YouTube. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of all the possibilities where we go from here. Hopefully Instagram will get itself fixed because, like I said, I don't think YouTube is going to become the place where we just start attracting tons of people. I could be wrong about that, but I don't know. We'll see. So we'll play. It'll be play it day by day. And if the sound is terrible, we'll just tell you to go over YouTube. Otherwise, still default is Instagram. Unless you want the better quality experience, hop over to YouTube. We'll try to pay attention to both comments like we did today.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Anything else, Doug? Any more? Anything else with pull-ups or running? I mean, rings. Anything we need to know?
No, I think that covers it for today. But we'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week, 11 a.m.
That is right. We will keep doing this 11 a.m. on Instagram
Hey,
Live.
I'm gonna make a plug for anyone who hasn't subscribed to us on iTunes and given us a rating. Those numbers continue to grow. That population or that community is thriving over on the podcast, and I want to keep that up. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you give us a rating. That really does help.
Yes, definitely. Rating or review, whichever one. But yeah, those things are important. So please do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Doug. Well,
All
I hope
right.
you feel better. Get those pull-ups up in today on the rings, and
I will
work on that iron cross. Do you know what that one is yet?
Yeah, I do know what it is. I don't think I'm there yet.
Okay. I actually don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just know it's a hard move to do.
I think it's the one where you're outstretched like this.
And
like
what you just stand that way? You just stay
you
that
just
way.
hold it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll work on that iron cross, and you can give us an update tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.